guys, and welcome to the Wars and Weapons channel. In my latest video I covered the special cannon called the bomb pose that is used by the Ottoman Empire in the Persian-Ottoman Wars. Now today I'm actually going to cover the Persian-Ottoman Wars, a series of wars between the Ottoman Empire and the Safavid Empire. And there are a lot of wars in this series, so I can't cover all of them in one video, so there will be a part 2, so stand by for the second part. The first battle I'm going to talk about in this first part is the Battle of Chaldrán, the first war to ever occur between these two empires. The Battle of Chaldrán was placed somewhere around 1514 in the plains of Çaldırان, somewhere near today's Azerbaijan, between the Ismail I, the Shah of Iran, and Salim I, the Ottoman Sultan. The reason for this war was religion difference due to the fact the Ottomans were Sunni Muslims and the Persians were Shia Muslims. They could not settle their differences, so they had to, their relations dropped and tension started to grow. So yeah, one day Ismail I told the Ghazalbashis of the Persian Empire, their main soldiers, their main fighting tribe, to go and cause anarchy in the Ottoman soil to force them into the Shia religion. The Ghazalbashis accept. The Ghazalbash actually in Turkish means redhead. It was not because they were actually pretty angry or like something like the Vikings that are pretty wild. It was because they wore hats that had something like a red thing here. They were called the redheads because of the hat. The Ghazalbashis comes from that term. The Ghazalbashis went to the Ottoman soil. They attacked villages, they slew people, they even raised one village out of existence. That is how brutal the raid was. It hurt the prestige and the renown of the Ottoman Empire, the greatest military might of the time, a lot. So Salim I thought, I've had enough of this. I'm going to declare war on the Persians to confront the Ghazalbashis. So they came together in the plains of Çaldırán. 40,000 Ghazalbash soldiers of the Persian Empire and 100,000 Ottoman soldiers armed with muskets and artillery, due to the fact that the Persians did not have muskets and artillery. They used swords, spears, and bows and arrows, due to the fact they know firearms is a rather cowardly weapon. And the Ismail I actually used artillery and firearms to get to sit on the throne, but they knew it as a cowardly thing. The Persians actually did have fights with firearms. They knew how they worked. They had experience with it. But as I said, they knew it as more of a cowardly thing due to the fact that it could deliver a lot of damage over a very long range. So they did not use it. They decided that honor does not tell them to use that. They decided to use their regular bows, swords, and spears. Also, they didn't also use artillery due to the fact it would limit the movement of cavalry. Like whenever the artillery is firing at something, the cavalry can't go there due to the fact anyone that goes there will get disintegrated in milliseconds. So they decided to have to stay out of the firing range, while the soldiers that were actually in the firing range could easily target the artillery. And as I said, the Persians didn't use firearms, so it would be a pretty easy target for the Ottoman musketeers. The clash between the 40,000 Ghazalbashis started, and of course, with no surprise, the Ottomans won the battle and managed to capture Çaldırán. And after some time, the Kurdistan region in the west of Iran actually decided that it's going to join the Ottoman Empire. It had enough in Iran's hands, so that was what ended the battle and the aftermath of the battle. The next battle we're going to talk about is the Battle of Avajik. It was in Avajik, Turkey today, and it was between Ismail I, the Shah of Iran, and Salim I, the Ottoman Sultan again. And because there was only 1 year of difference to the fact the Battle of Çaldırán was in 1514, while the Battle of Avajik was in 1515. So without 1 year of difference, none of the kings changed. The Persians couldn't accept the loss from the Ottoman Empire from the Çaldırán battle, so they grew a large army and assaulted the Ottomans in their own soil. The Ottomans, due to the lack of equipment of the Persian Empire, the Ottomans defended them easily and fended off the Persians, so the Persians actually lost the war with no gain, while the Ottomans managed to keep the lands of themselves inside their own hands. the next war we're going to talk about actually didn't have a name due to the fact it was placed in multiple regions, so they couldn't actually name it. Instead, they gave it a year mark. It was 1532 until 1555. It was between Tahmasp I, the Shah of Iran, and Suleiman I, the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. It was placed some near the Kafkaz Heights, somewhere around Azerbaijan today, and the النهرین region, which is in today's Iraq. And the battle raged between 90,000 Persian soldiers and 10 counts of artillery, while the Ottomans had 200,000 soldiers with 300 count of artillery. With this obvious advantage, the Ottomans actually won most of the battles. The Persian assault on Kafkaz failed, and the Ottoman assault on the النهرین region actually managed to gain them lots of victories. They managed to capture Baghdad, they managed to capture lots of the islands of the النهرین region, and a lot of the area around the Persian Gulf. It ended in of course, a major Ottoman victory. The next and the last battle we're going to talk about in this video, the rest of them will be in the second part, so stand by for the second part, also didn't have a name. It happened in multiple regions around Kafkaz and النهرین. So yeah, of course it didn't have a name. It just had a year mark, which happened between 1578 and 1590. So it happened between the new king of Persia. After the Shah Tahmasp I died, the Persians changed their king to Muhammad Khudabande, and the Ottoman Empire also had a new sultan. Murad III was their new sultan. He found this opportunity that because the Safavid Empire went into anarchy after the king Tahmasp I died, so he decided to use this to his advantage and attack and capture parts of the Kafkaz Heights. He managed to get an army of 200,000 warriors and went and clashed with the Persian army of 90,000 warriors, and of course, just like every time, with no surprise, the Ottomans won, managed to capture until Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia today. And the battle ended with the Treaty of Farhad Pasha, which the Persians accepted the rule of the Ottoman Empire over the newly captured regions of Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia. So yeah, the battles that were talked about in the first part are over, so make sure to wait for the second part. It will get released after this video, so yeah, stand by. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell to get notified about the rest of the wars, and stand by for the next one.